if CJ Stroud is the name he used specifically, which I think is important here for the 6th pick. He said if he's available at 6, what would you do as a GM? Evan is mouthing no.
No, I don't want a quarterback anymore.
Cheers to episode 106.
You have something? Alex, I said, should we be drinking? And you said no.
Wow.
And then I said, okay, and I brought my water here.
All right, cheers. I'm going to get some water.
Cheers.
Coffee.
What kind of coffee?
Like it's a Starbucks blonde roast. Like their ground coffee.
I have water. Alex is going to get water because of last night. I think if we would have beat Indiana, we probably would be drinking, but...
Yeah. Maybe just a celebratory beer.
Yeah.
Assembly Hall. Loud place to play.
You gave up 82 points to a Big Ten team. That's just ridiculous. So it's disgusting.
That one kid, Galloway, had like 20-something, and that's tough. You don't want to give up to a guy like that.
Him and, what was the other kid's name? Bates? Tamar Bates.
Was it
4 threes?
Number 53?
Yeah, I blame it on Alex.
2K player when I saw him.
Such a weird number.
Like,
yeah.
There's no way this guy's good. And he just unconscious from 3.
Little secret that I've been doing in my coffee. If you put like a little bit of honey, it's really good.
I've been doing that, actually. I do it at work because coffee work is so bad. Coffee at work is so bad. And they have honey packets there.
Cool.
No, I've been doing this for a full year.
Well, I've been doing it for a year and a day.
Yes.
Well, I've done it for 2 years, so good try.
Today is Sunday, January 22nd. It's 2:24 p.m. Welcome into the #1 podcast in Michigan. And 2 things. 1, the boys are back. 2, happy birthday, Evan. Please give the people a statement about your birthday.
Shout out Wyatt. Happy birthday to him as well. Defending our country.
Defending it well.
Defending it very well.
There's been no attacks since.
Maybe he's bored.
There's been no attacks.
Everybody reaching out, wishing me happy birthday. Feels good. Other than that, I had a pretty good weekend.
Which we'll get into. Nice little
Minus
tease
all the
there.
L's we've taken.
Minus all the L's I've taken this weekend.
Oh, wow. I'm excited to hear it. For this show, it's going to be some good weekly check-ins because the last time we recorded was Tuesday, January 10th. Then we will talk about a little bit of Lions football, a little bit of Michigan football, a little bit of college basketball, and a little bit of NFL playoffs to end the show and any other miscellaneous things that come up throughout. So, to start this off, I'm intrigued by Evan's comment of L's. Why don't you run us through what's happened to you, Evan, since January 10th?
Since January 10th.
However you'd like to do it. You don't have to give us everything.
We spent both weekends together.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I forgot about last weekend.
No break for you guys.
Yeah. Great
Are you guys sick of each other? You want to punch each other in the face right now?
No. I did Spartan kick Wilkins earlier.
In the chest?
Yes, in the chest.
Alex deserved to get his ass beat. But, okay, so let's see. No, just busy work life. Monday through Friday is nonstop. Busy train. And then last week, East Lansing.
Grant, taking notes on your weekly recap?
And I'm crossing out stuff of that I've already checked off the list.
Oh.
If work, coaching, other job, work, coaching, job. So that goes nonstop. Bounce back. What did we play Thursday? Played Thursday. Bounce back, beat Jackson, upset Jackson at home. Feels good after a couple of disappointing losses before that.
And especially after what Tony Dungy said this week. Stuck it to his alma mater.
Yeah. Then last weekend was in East Lansing. First time I've ever been to
East Lansing.
To Landshark.
Dude, I've never been there either. What's it like?
I was very shocked of how nice it is actually downstairs.
Yeah, it was actually fun.
It's actually a very nice bar downstairs. Yeah, I pictured just basically like a Rick's 2.0. No, way nicer than Rick's.
Damn.
Way nicer. Nicer tables, nicer environment. Not big, but quality, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a mixture of like the Riv and Rick's.
Kind of Rick's style.
What? That sounds
Yeah, it's a
awesome.
It's like, sort of like the Riv has a bunch of tables where you can kind of just chill out, sit and relax. Then you have like the dark dance floor, like in the basement. That
They had beer
like
pong
Rick's.
tables as well.
Yeah.
I just asked Marissa why we've never gone there. So,
It
pending
used to be
response.
incredibly lame. Like no one went there ever.
Now it's like one of the most popular bars in East
super
Lansing.
popular, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's the same chain because we had one at Butler that was Land Sharks with a little cartoon out front. So I think there's a chain of Land Sharks at Midwest schools. So I'm just going to chalk it up as that.
All right.
What did we do Saturday?
Saturday we just football buffet.
It was
Nice.
a football buffet.
Super wild card weekend.
Yeah.
Whopper, triple, Whopper.
No.
One of the worst walks of my life on Sunday morning last week. I had to walk
I
back
wanna hear about this.
from the hub to the skate park, so all the way to Skyview.
How many miles?
Or
It's-
two.
I don't know. It was a solid
All
40-minute walk.
This might be the time to ask my question. Evan, I've been worried about your feet. How have they been doing? And did this
New
walk
shoes.
cripple them?
I have bought a lot of new shoes.
A lot? Like how many?
I bought like 3 new pair because I just had
Really?
'Cause I don't-
crazy.
I don't wear like the same shoes every single day because then
You
that's how you
bought
wear 'em out.
3 pairs of shoes.
And I bought insoles.
Dr. Scholl's?
I do
Yep,
need some
Dr.
Dr.
Scholl's.
Scholl's insoles, but I'll get to that later.
This is awesome.
But like I refed last Sunday and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. Did not help. My feet were throbbing by like halfway through the games. Like 12 games, so I was there for literally like 12 hours. So like 6 hours in, my feet were just killing me.
Then those are the new shoes?
No,
They're
I
just not
wore
broken
the
in
I
yet?
wore the original my
Maybe.
original shoes
with the
with
Dr.
insoles,
Scholl's.
and it didn't really.
But you
help
have to
that
get
much.
the right insoles for your feet, Evan. You have to take the test.
I didn't take the test.
Oh,
took the
no.
sports. I got the sports one.
You just got one.
I was running up and down the
So-
court. It was a sports performance court.
Well, if you have flat feet or arched feet, it all depends.
Whatever.
As
And
a-
then
Insole guy.
this past week, I think same stuff. Just super busy.
You said last weekend you simply have no time to do anything.
Alex, you didn't understand. Like I told Alex my schedule one day because last weekend we were talking about like when can
Time
I
to work out. Evan says he has no time ever to work out.
And I
It's really
gave
determined.
you my schedule.
Yeah.
What I did on that Friday.
Evan sacrifices his 1 hour free time to spend on TikTok every night.
Which you
Grant,
can't
would
blame a
you-
guy.
Grant, would you work out 9 to 10 o'clock at night
No.
away from your house? Not you can't work out in your house because you have no equipment.
He would work out at the high school when practice is over.
You're saying that's how I would do?
No,
That's what you would have to
that?
do. You'd be the coach. You'd coach practice, and then after practice, you would just go lift and then go home and go to bed.
That's
Could
what I
you
would
do
try. That's what I try to do. Yeah,
You could try
But-
to do it, Evan.
but I would
Well,
keep
I
it
run
like
damn near 8 miles every Sunday when I'm roughing
I would-
basketball.
But Evan's goal
That's
for
what- that's a workout.
2023 was to get bigger, not get smaller.
But I would keep it super simple. Like
Based
if
off of
that-
how I ate this weekend, I'm definitely gonna get bigger.
If that was your like routine where you had access to it and could go, but like some nights you have game nights, so you're not lifting then. But
Yeah.
like practice nights, I would just
3 to
keep
4 times a week.
I would keep it super simple and just like take a stretch band, get the
Squat and bench.
chest loose, and I would just do like 4 sets of 10 on bench press and leave. And be like, all right, good workout. And then next day do like 4 sets of 10 shoulder press, leave, and then just do like a bro split of just like the main lift and get out of there.
So yes, I'm busy. And then this weekend, half day on Friday because of exams.
Nice.
Showed up to Birmingham with
Weekend
nobody,
in the berm.
nobody here.
Wow,
Had
that's
peace and quiet
impressive.
for you for an hour and a half.
Wait,
Take a
no
nap.
one. So
Was
like,
at work.
oh, so you just did the electronic open the door thing?
Yep, I had to
Yeah.
FaceTime Drew and tell him to unlock it.
That's so sick. that you guys can do
Very
that.
satisfying. That was a great invention. I'm glad you guys have that on your door.
It's
You
sick.
don't have to bring your keys anywhere. Unless
It's
you need
crazy.
to drive your car.
Unless your phone breaks and you're effed.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then Friday night, waited for everybody, just sat around, hung out. We went to the name of it, Slice, Side Box Bar.
Technically, we're in Slice, yes.
Solid
Oh, the
food.
other side.
Yep, solid food. Then Friday just kind of hung out. We each all just held each other hostage
About what we were going to do.
Yeah. Like, should we go out? Should we stay in? Should we go out?
I think we made the right decision. We didn't go out.
This was Friday.
Ultimately, yes, because yesterday got weird.
Saturday went to the Maury for brunch.
Yep.
Very good food.
Bloody Mary, 4 out of 10.
Bloody Mary was below average.
What was wrong with
Very
it?
below average. No seasoning, no flavor.
Didn't really hit.
Too much watered down. That
Just
wasn't very
Hunt's
good.
tomato juice.
I haven't ordered 2 breakfasts.
I got
It's
a
getting
brisket
bigger.
bowl.
He said
I
it's
got,
getting
I got
bigger.
a brisket bowl and I had chicken and waffles.
You ordered both.
I told myself I wasn't going to eat until
And then
8
ate
o'clock
all
at night.
of it.
I didn't eat all. There was some with my breakfast.
You did
bowl
eat
left.
later at night.
Yeah.
Life-changing meal.
12 hours later. 8 hours later.
Have you guys heard of that new? I've seen a trend for like people that are getting ripped on Saturdays. They call it like no food Saturday. So you just drink and then you just feel the most extent of alcohol and then you eat like later at night.
Anyone
Anyone think
like guys that
Evan.
just get blitzed, so like we don't need to do that.
Evan just
Evan
dabbed.
brought the dad back this
The
week.
dab has never died.
Evan's
I'm
been
gonna have to
dabbing
cut
since
that.
Friday.
He just so casually sneezed right into a dab.
Yeah, he's been doing that all week.
So it sounds like Evan did not. He did not do no food Saturday. He just
Oh no, I've been a pig all weekend.
After
Then we went to Tin Roof for pregame to watch the. We watched the.
Been there a time or two.
Yep, watched the. Yeah, we brought you up last time about the service.
Yeah.
The
How was
Tigers
the
game.
service this time?
it was that wasn't there this time.
Oh, no, not that time. No, there's 2 times, Alex. Yeah, both times I've been there, it's stuck out. One was went to the Tigers game, and remember they would not serve us, and I was getting freaked out and just had to go talk to
That's the
someone.
time I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Other time at the Mike concert, a certain bartender. Yeah, Tin Roof is just
Get
a
on
wild
Grant?
place. No. So Tin Roof, good time.
Yep. Great pregame, and then went to the dojo LCA for the Red Wings game.
The dojo.
And it got sloppy there for some people.
Got out
And
of hand.
Alex can tell about how and why it got sloppy because he was the abuser or a part of it.
I wasn't sloppy. I think that should be. That's not the word. However, I'll explain.
I mean, your behavior was not Alex-like.
Correct.
I'll explain how I got to that level. So, first period, we all sat in our seats like good adults. And then we all went to the concourse at the end of the first period because everyone was hungry, doing whatever. I was just out there by myself. So I went a little before the first period ended. Just eating hot dogs, standing there.
Interesting
That was
move.
the table thing. Yeah, just waiting for everyone else to come out. Then slowly, like one by one, everyone came out there. Everyone was getting different food. Somehow we got to the point where Cody, with an K, felt that the concourse was more fun than the game.
Yeah, I can see
He
that.
played on drums. The drum line walked by, and she let him play on the drums. Tried to get a girl's phone number.
Because he was wearing his Liverpool jacket.
Because he had a Liverpool jacket on.
And she was
like,
into
was
that?
a Liverpool fan, I guess. And she like started giving him his number as she was walking away, like saying it out loud. And Cody couldn't remember the number. So then then Evan and Cormac came with nachos and tacos. Evan,
Oh, they
wanna
put the-
explain your nachos.
They
Oh
put the
my gosh.
jalapenos on there?
This is different.
Oh.
This is not the
This is
same
not your ordinary nachos. This is the ultimate supreme nachos from a small little venue in the corner of LCA on the second floor, and it knocked off. How good it was. Knocked it off.
I mean, Evan was saying it was like...
It was the best stadium food I've ever had in any
What was
stadium.
on it?
It was just, they were out of beef, so I got chicken. Chicken was
Okay.
phenomenal. And just like, corn salsa, beans, regular salsa, lettuce, sour cream, jalapenos.
Direct quote was, they said, "What do you want on it?" And Evan said, "Everything."
I said, give me it all.
So that
Wow.
was notable because Evan said it was phenomenal. Then
There has to be
We went
alcohol
down.
involved here. Yeah.
because we all had beers and whatnot. We had been drinking all day. Full disclosure, since brunch.
Hand up.
We Ubered there safely.
Okay,
so
that's
no one
good
drove.
thing to call out.
Yeah. So then we went downstairs. That's where Evan took the picture with Mo Sider.
Yeah, that was funny.
Fake picture with Mo Sider that he wanted very bad. Evan bought a jersey. I think that's notable information.
A Cider jersey.
Yeah.
Was that
I mean-
so? He put it right on at the game.
Yes.
The good
It
thing is
is.
you picked a guy that should be around at least a decade. That's
Very
nice.
nice.
That's really nice.
It's a very. It looks like it's a real thing.
It is.
So then we were down in the lower level concourse because our seats were in the upper deck. We were cruising up there. Then we went to the lower level. Evan rode on the little horse thing.
Yeah.
Cody Cormac, so did Cody.
So did Cody.
Yeah, and then there was a Sadiq Bey statue that you could like
Yeah, because
kind
the
of.
Pistons play there too.
grope?
So.
Is that what it looked like? It
You're
was
just
meant
supposed
to
to
look.
put your head there, I think, maybe.
Stand behind him, put your head on top.
I
of it.
really think it was just a jersey stand, and then we were abusing it.
Mm.
People tried to steal the basketball from it. Nailed in.
Okay.
So then,
Heads up by LCA.
and then we go out of the game, and that's when the liquor was flowing more at that point. So it was quite the experience. Spent a while.
Care to comment on your gritty form?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
That was
I don't know
probably
what got into me.
5 beers later.
Yeah, there was several beers deep at that point.
Did you do it as long as Cormac claims? Were you just doing it down the whole concourse?
Yeah, my legs are hurting today. Like I don't even know why I started doing that. To be honest, I have no idea.
And this could all go back to like some people are going to listen to this and be like, guys, I don't think anyone's going to blame you guys. But really, if they do, they should just remember it's because the Red Wings couldn't score a goal for 2 periods. So that's why you guys had to make your own fun. If they had like scored 3 goals, you guys would have been in your seats probably the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a lot different.
But you just sit there and no one's scoring. You're like, I guess we'll just play in the concourse.
Yeah, I mean, and the weirdest part is we were all in like groups of 2s. We had 7 people total.
Mhm.
And then Evan, which were all at the Red Wings game for his birthday, was by himself. Which I don't know how that happened. I was not part of that part. But apparently Evan got left alone and was just by himself in the seats for like, how long were you there?
The entire
Third period.
It was a good game by that point, kind of, wasn't it?
They didn't score till 40 seconds left.
Oh.
Philly scored 2 goals in the third.
Did that make you sad, Evan? Or were you like, I guess
Yeah, I was
we'll
actually
split
kind of
up?
upset. I wasn't hoping for a win, especially against Philly. They were 500.
Cormac and Drew went into like nice seats as well. And then Cody and Ben went to the points bet bar.
Ah, yes. Familiar with that. I've seen that little setup in there.
So yeah, that was the Red Wings game.
How's your rec league going?
Well, we're 0-2. First game, yeah, I felt out of shape. Running up down the floor like several times is way more exhausting than you remember.
Nothing compares to game speed.
You're like, well, God.
Don't have to tell Evan that. He's running all
Like, this is rough.
every Sunday.
I'm not exactly filling up the stat sheet by any means.
What
If
are our
that's what you
point per game averages?
would probably average like 4 points a game, which we score on average 29 points a game. So in the hindsight, it's probably good for like third leading scorer.
What's the clock situation?
2 20-minute halves running clock until the final 2 minutes of the second half.
It's hoops or basketball right there.
So it goes
29
pretty
points.
fast. No, we can't score.
Hmm.
I am getting a lot of rebounds, so that's good. I got to be a leading rebounder on the squad. But we have lost both games. We led the first game almost the entire time, and then they went on a run at the end, and we lost by 4. And then second game, we were like trailing by like 4 to 8 points in the second half, and then they just beat us in pretty bad. It was lost by like 20. It felt like at the end, 18. And then I saw your Butler friend.
Yeah. Alex ran into someone I went to college with
We told him.
in the
Wild story.
small world. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have enough time for the podcast for everyone, but just know, small world.
About as small as it can get.
And stay tuned for an article about Imani Bates one day, potentially. That Cormac might be in. Legitimately might have a quote in there.
No, he is. He talked to her on the phone.
He did?
Yeah.
I'm praying that I see his name in that article.
Yeah.
Like him just saying, yeah, he was really good, said Cormac. Gotta cut the last name, damn it.
Other than that, I mean, we did a lot more on Saturday after the Red Wings game. It didn't just end when the Red Wings game ended.
Walked around Detroit, tried to go back to the tin roof. Line was super long. Left, went to
Checkers.
Yep. Stopped at an apartment of friends of watchers.
It's a decent way to describe it.
Casino.
Then we went to
I think,
Checkers.
right?
Checkers, the bar is like a video game bar, I think.
Has arcades on the second floor. It was pretty fun.
Very nice.
And then we went to
The casino.
Yeah, Creektown.
Retown Sportsbook.
Very nice. See Big Cat?
And we did. Yep, he was there. He was actually in our group the whole day. And then we gambled, and some lost and some won, and overall we had fun.
Nice. And
And
everyone
Michigan State
Ubered
basketball
back.
just ruined all of that.
And then this morning we had a nice breakfast, and then Michigan State ruined our mood.
Who cooked breakfast?
We went to breakfast.
Oh, where at?
Nicky D's.
Diner. Same place we went before the Lions game about a month ago.
Is that right in Woodward?
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that one day, but oh, there's a diner right there. Nice.
Yeah, Evan says I should go there every day.
Not every day, just
Every
Saturday and
day.
Sunday mornings. Just Saturday and Sunday
Every
mornings.
weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. That sounds right.
How are your donuts, Grant? I'm excited to hear about this.
Yeah, I got back to my roots on yesterday. Went to Puffy Cream Donuts, which is a pretty nice name for a donut spot if you ask me. I went around like 10 after my haircut, so their selection was kind of picked through. But I just got the staples. The biggest depressing thing was the Long Johns were not filled with any custard.
Is that really
Which-
a Long John?
I think so. Like I think
That's
Long
just
Johns
a
are just
donut.
the
the
Long
shape.
John is the shape, but like at Lev's, they're filled with cream. At
They're
Puffy Cream,
Phenomenal
no cream.
donuts.
Yeah, the best were the chocolate custard, and then the vanilla like strawberry raspberry filling were the best too. Evan versus AirPods. So I had that. I guess I should use the college hoops update in my weekly recap. I'm officially out on college hoops, watching teams for the rest of the year, barring a 3-game win streak from anyone. So this is new.
Kentucky's won some games.
Now, no, I don't care about them enough.
Okay.
But thank you for pointing that out.
You could be a Michigan State fan.
I did watch most, if not all, of your guys' game today. I need something on. I need something on the TV. It was a good
Season
game.
missing.
Michigan was playing. You could have
No, not till
played at
noon.
1. Or yeah,
Yeah.
noon your time.
But yeah, like I said, I'm done with that. I'm not watching them unless they win 3 games in a row, which we'll get to later in college hoops. But that's part of it. So that moves into movie and TV season right now. I am 1 episode left in the Coach Prime doc on Amazon. It's been pretty good. The one I watched last night, alarming. I forgot that he almost lost his foot and his whole leg, and they showed that, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot that he had that surgery just a year ago."
Wait, how
And
many
it was
episodes
like
are in this?
4.
Oh yeah, because I watched that episode on Thursday.
I don't know if they're gonna drop more because I feel like if you look at the release date, they dropped 2, and then they waited 2 weeks or so, and they dropped 2 more, so they might drop 2 more about Colorado. But there's 4 so far, and the one I watched last night was like talked about his leg thing, and I forgot. Like there's a huge just.
The footage
crevice.
they show of the actual it's really gross.
Like he's missing like half his shin, and then his like foot is like swollen. And I'm like, oh my god, I
it's
forgot
bad.
that happened. Yeah,
That's why he limps so bad.
yeah, but that's sweet.
He has to
It's
like
a little-
ride on the little wheelchair during the airport.
definitely gives you motivation, but at the same time makes you feel like a piece of shit when you watch like Deion Sanders operate because he's just a sweet human being who's like accomplished nearly everything you can in the world of sports.
He doesn't swear.
Really?
Do you know that? He
guess
doesn't
I haven't.
swear.
He talks so aggressively. I just in my head I think he swears, but I guess not.
No, he doesn't. Never.
Also,
it's crazy.
HBCUs look awesome. The Jackson State homecoming week looked like
Rowdy.
a movie. I was like,
Because
that.
Deion
Rowdy
Sanders
games.
is there.
Yeah, but in their band is like the sonic boom of the South. Like they just have sweet little aspects to them.
I mean, I wonder how they'll be without him.
Yeah.
But
Well, that
He
one lady
basically
said,
put all his own money into it.
I mean, they have diehards. They had that one lady saying we've been tailgating here for 10 years in spot E19. And if you come back in 20 years, we'll still be here. Like, they just have a ride or dies in the Jackson State football
Wild
program.
that they still have like a ticket booth and they just go to the ticket booth on like Wednesday for their Saturday game and buy tickets.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's like a high school.
A couple things aged poorly. They were like, yeah, we need Coach Prime to stay here for 20 more years. And then Flash.
Yeah, there was a
gone.
lot of bad stuff about that.
3 other quick things. I wanted to give some respect to vermouth. This is completely random. You're probably like, what does this mean? I was craving a martini this weekend. Haven't drank in a while. I was like, I'm going to have a martini. I used to make a world-class martinis when I lived with Alex because he had the proper supplies for it.
They
The
showed you
shaker.
how to do it.
Yeah. And then I perfected the craft of the shaker. I don't have a shaker here. I barely even have nice glassware. And I was sitting here and I'm like, ooh, I have Tito's and I have a jar of olives and olive juice, but I don't have vermouth. And I don't want to run to the store and get vermouth. So I said, what if I just kind of make it with just the 2 ingredients? It was disgusting. So that is just a reminder. Vermouth doesn't get a lot of credit, I don't think. I think everyone just thinks, oh, I just throw it into a martini. It's a key component of a martini. It does something to it. I don't know what it does, but you need it.
Well, yeah, or else you're drinking vodka alone, basically.
Like salty vodka.
Yeah.
I think vermouth must be a little sweet. That has to be what it is, because that's what I felt was missing. It was just so like bitter in my face when I drank it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So shout out vermouth. Needs respect. And then another theory I'm working on that I thought of today, just random things in my head that maybe listeners will laugh at. I don't think anyone on the 3rd floor of this apartment complex does laundry. I think they all stink. And I say that because there's laundry rooms on all 3 floors, 1, 2, 3. I've lived here half a year by this point.
Yeah.
Several months. And every time I go to the 2nd floor, right down the hall, someone's using at least one of them. I go down to the 1st floor, someone's using them. Maybe once, one time the 3rd floor has been in use. No, they're always...
What floor are you on?
2.
Do you do your laundry on the 2nd floor?
I have in the past. I try to, but usually it's in use.
So you go 3rd.
Now I'm a 3rd guy because no one's ever up there. And I just think like, do they
Kind
not
of good
do
for
laundry?
you, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I
Is
just
your
wonder to
laundry free?
myself. Yeah. No. You pay like it's better than Birmingham though. You pay like $25 a month into your rent and then you don't need quarters. It's just normal machines. Which I kind of like. I think it works out to what we were paying in Birmingham. If you do like a load a week, you're probably paying that in quarters and you just don't have to go get quarters, which I do not miss.
$3. It's $3 for a load.
Nothing was worse than having to go to that little PNC on Woodward Ave
that has $20 to get
that has like
quarters.
It's like one of the busiest roads in Michigan. It has 6 parking spots off to the left. I mean, like Woodward Sports is right there, PNC's right there, and there's 6 parking spots, and they're always full. And I would just circle that thing like 3 times until someone left. You just make 3 right
turns.
turns
Just
and
walked there, man.
And then a lot of times, no, not in the winter. A lot of times I would just park in the handicap spot and run in and get the quarters and leave. Anyways, that. And then lastly, soccer. The only team I do care about right now is Manchester City, and they had a nice win against Alex's team. So that was cool. In a game
you
that
just
looked...
got caned.
No comment on. I did not see the second half. I was in a meeting at work, so I only saw the first half. So in my book, Tottenham won 2-0.
Good timing.
Yeah. Am I surprised? Absolutely not.
Random question my dad asked me. I don't know if this is for the podcast or not, if he was just messing around. But he said if you were playing someone 2-on-2 and you needed a partner, would you take Rip Hamilton or Kemba Walker? I just don't know where this came from, but I thought I'd ask you guys.
Take Rip. He's better defensively.
I would probably take Rip for the size, I guess.
Is he
I
taller?
would happily take... Yeah, he's bigger.
Yeah, I guess Kemba's small, right?
He's old, though, so I might take Kemba. He's still like...
No, take him like when they're like playing.
in their
their
prime.
Oh, yeah, he's 7 inches taller than Kemba Walker.
Yeah, Rip's
Right.
lanky.
I don't know if my dad meant he's playing against me, because then he's like, I'll take clutch, as in like clutch Kemba, and I'll win. And I was like, okay, like I settled his Sunday debate. I don't know what he's... Like, I'm just picturing him sitting in his recliner and being like, Rip or Kemba? 2-on-2 match. It's like, what are we talking about?
against my son. And he
So I
gets
guess
the other one.
I went Rip just because I'm biased. I like Rip, so
I mean, I
We're all.
don't really think. I don't know. It's such a weird question. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just passing him the ball at the end of the day, so I'm not shooting if this is my partner. Is this the Michigan game? You guys are still. Are you guys still prairie dogging the Michigan game? What's going on?
Yeah, Michigan has had a chance to come away with the win, and they've turned the ball over twice. And
Oh my god, I just saw the score now. 57-52.
Minnesota.
We just watched Minnesota.
Okay, so
dude,
Minnesota
make the
had
worst
2 free
layup
throws
attempt
to
ever.
they were down 4. They had 2 free throws. They only made one of them, and then there was a flagrant or an intentional foul. Michigan missed them, trapped. I almost called him Aiden Hutchinson. Trapped Hunter Dickinson. He turned the ball over.
Oh no.
Minnesota's coming down, missed a 3, got an offensive rebound, and the worst fake shot, trying to draw a foul of all time, 4th grade girls basketball throw up shot attempt.
It looks like he was trying to pump fake like this and just let go of the ball. Fucking flew in the air.
Yeah.
All right. Now for sports, Lions football. The big topic of this team right now is Ben Johnson is back. My question
Head
to
coach
you
of
guys.
Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Yeah, also he is the head coach of Minnesota Golden Gophers. Is this the biggest offseason move for the Lions this offseason?
Yes,
I think it will be.
close.
Most impactful.
No, because I think we build our team through the draft. We're not going to sign anybody big time.
Unless we get Lamar.
Oh my God! Here we go again. Here we go again.
Evan doesn't like Lamar. That might be a topic for another week.
I have another name, and this is behind
it's
the
not
scenes.
Derek Carr.
I tried to get into the weeds of learning how to do jersey photoshops because I think that'd be easy likes for our account.
Yeah.
People love seeing their. It's so hard to do. It took me like a half hour to even remotely get the jersey close, and that's not even the helmet or the pants. I'm just not gonna do this. I'm just gonna rip other people's and give them credit whenever I want to post because I can't make these. I was going to Photoshop Jalen Ramsey in some Lions gear because that would look pretty.
We
sick.
talked about that this weekend.
Yeah,
Evan doesn't want him.
Too expensive.
I mean, if we're
I
gonna
don't need
take a
him.
corner,
I
I know
won't
I
be
don't need
mad.
him. But if you saw a jersey Photoshop, you'd be like, "Ooh, I want that."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, not mine because mine wouldn't look good. But if you saw a legit one, yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's definitely the biggest thing that's gonna happen, most impactful thing that'll happen for the Lions this offseason, I would say.
Yeah.
is
I
Ben
think so.
Johnson. To
Only
me,
one more year though, you think, right? I mean,
probably
I would imagine if the season is any successful again, what is he waiting for?
There's going to be 6 more vacancies next year.
Yeah, there usually
probably.
is. Chargers.
What?
Texans are on the 1-year deal every time, so they'll be open.
Man, it's really snowing in Buffalo. This is alarming. The biggest thing I wrote down about this, the only thing that kind of irked me throughout the week is I saw a lot of people, whether it be national or whatnot, being why would to Ben Johnson, of course he would come back. Why would he go be a head coach of the dumpster fire Texans or whatever? I just think, I don't know how, but this take out there of people not realizing how coveted head coaching jobs are. And it's oh, it's the Texans. Why would you go there? I mean, you're talking about 32 jobs in the world and life-changing money compared to what a coordinator makes. I don't care how bad you perceive the organization. That's still a huge thing for him to come back to Detroit because it speaks more to Detroit's culture than oh, there was no good jobs available. Why would he leave? It's I don't know. Being a head coach in the NFL is the highest you can get in the profession. That take just bugged me all week.
That is a bad take.
It is literally the peak that you can get at your job of any coach. Okay, you're a football coach. The peak of that is being a head coach. And then the top of that off it would just be winning a Super Bowl as the head coach.
Yeah, I don't know how you would.
Yeah.
You don't get picky in those situations
No.
unless you've been a head coach for 20 years like Sean Payton, and then you can
Now
be picky.
he is picky, yes.
You don't get to be picky if you've never been a head coach before.
And you heard him, Sean Payton even talked about in one interview that he tried to sell the Texans job. He was no, this actually isn't that bad of a job. They have good young pieces, and you have a very high draft pick for your quarterback.
Yeah,
if you
They
want.
just have bad ownership.
Ton of draft capital.
Yeah.
About to
And
get new
the-
uniforms.
The peak
Well,
example,
That's nothing,
Sexy.
Evan.
I like
No,
the
that's
We're about to
sweet.
get new uniforms.
I like the red helmets.
that's why I'm going to have to wait to get my jersey. I realize I have to wait for the new uniforms.
Do we all get new ones again when we get new uniforms?
I mean, that's a lot to
I
ask.
That is a lot.
can't do that. I'm sorry.
Maybe if they go to the conference championship game.
I thought about burning my Jared Goff jersey last year early in the season. What a world we've come to.
What a world. But what I was going to say lastly about the coordinators, they look at perfect example is Byron Leftwich. Last year he was Ben Johnson getting interviews left and right, and this year he got fired.
He was he was like the media or like the fan favorite to get the Jaguars job, and now he's fired.
Fired. And that's why Ben Johnson's taking a huge risk, and that's why it's more a reflection on Detroit Lions culture and Dan Campbell than it is like any other thing that he turned down. Because you just never know. The last thing I think we should talk about, other two quick ones. I think we should talk about Ben V's question because it was a good one, and we didn't have any other submissions this week. He asked us if CJ Stroud is the name he used specifically, which I think is important here for the 6th pick. He said if he's available at 6, what would you do as a GM? Evan is mouthing no.
No, I don't want a quarterback anymore. Especially with Ben Johnson back, especially the way that Goff played the last, 12 games, 8 games, 9 games.
Most of the season, really.
You were a tiebreaker away from being in the playoffs.
Jamar Chase touchdown. Gritty. Sorry.
Already?
That just stopped everyone in their tracks, yeah.
No. Oh, wow.
Sorry.
That was fast.
Sorry, Evan.
You missed it, dude.
Sorry, Evan. Sorry, Evan.
Didn't know it started.
Oh, my God. Sorry, Evan.
But I got to see the end of that game.
What were you saying?
No, we don't. Purdue's going to win. Okay, so Goff played well. You're in an area where now you're building depth and like a roster around a quarterback. Now I hate his contract, but like
You can't hate everyone's contract forever.
yes, you can.
This is the one thing that drives me nuts.
Goff's contract
already-
kind of looks better now.
He's already not that high paid.
Is he worth $40 million, Grant?
A decent above average quarterback in the NFL probably is.
I think
$40
once you see,
million.
I think when you see what
Yes.
Daniel Jones gets paid this offseason, you're going to say, "Wow, I don't hate Jared Goff's contract."
I would agree. The market's going to constantly go up.
Well, they can franchise tag him though.
I think
Franchise tag will be more than $40 million.
I don't think
he's
so.
like Goff's like guaranteed and like cap hit is around 10 to 11 in the league, and I think that's what he is as a quarterback. So I think like it's
Just
high,
outside the
but
top 10.
that's like what he deserves to make. Probably he just got that contract pretty early in his career.
Yeah.
We went to a Super Bowl.
Okay. But like now you're basically fighting for the playoffs, and my whole thing is like you have to get better in the draft because that's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell says they want to do is build the team through the draft. And if you draft Stroud, you're not getting better in the draft. Now you're putting this dysfunction.
You're not getting good immediately, but it might turn into a great Patrick
Every
Mahomes
team's
level
playoff window
situation.
every team's Super Bowl window is so small. Like if you draft a quarterback, now you're saying that we're not in a win now mode. We're still 3 years away.
Unless
I don't think that necessarily means
unless you get a game changer like Burrow and Mahomes, like Burrow said, my window is my whole career. And then you're
Correct.
like, well, then it doesn't really matter. Now,
it's
it's
more
more
that guy. That's
it's more
another
their
question.
job than ours, but it's ours to speculate because, once we get deeper into draft season and watch more tape, ball knowers will have stronger
The
opinions.
Lions will be better next year with Goff as a quarterback over CJ Stroud.
Well, I'm
I
thinking
agree
no
with
matter
that.
what, if they take Stroud, it's Goff's starting all game. every
100%.
game.
I would rather have a impacted defensive player in the first round at both picks than having CJ Stroud sit the bench for every single
I
game
agree.
next year.
That's what I want to happen. However, I'm not going to freak out if we take a quarterback. You do trust Brad to do whatever he's going to do.
This team loves Goff. This team rallies around Jared.
I don't think they're going to do that. I also don't think Stroud's going to be there.
If Stroud's there at 6, I mean, you trade back if anybody wants anything, and it's just like getting even just 2 more picks.
If Stroud's available at 6, yes, there will be
If
teams
you flip flop
calling.
first with the team and you get a second and a third or a second and a fourth, I still think you could do it. Because you're not at 6, you're probably not going to get one of the top defensive ends. You're not going to get Anderson or
Well, if Stroud's there, then yes, then they're all gone.
correct. So that I would rather add depth.
We should hope Stroud's there, and then we'll have the trade down option.
We should hope he's there because we take
Grant,
him.
would you be mad if we?
Well, I
took
mean, the only team that does is the Minnesota Vikings.
Do you want him?
I need to
Georgia
watch
game
more.
brainwash you. You get brainwashed by one game every single time.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of a gut feel because it's the biggest stage. I remember Justin Fields lighting up Clemson in the COVID year was like, okay, I think this kid has something, more.
But he's not
Especially-
a quarterback.
I mean, he's good. if he was our backup right now,
I have
or
so
if he
many
was our-
questions for you from the debates we had yesterday, but it's just going to drag on too long.
I mean, we can work him in whenever you want. But I'm saying
There's
I
one
had to
question
watch
that
a-
has to be asked.
I got to watch a little bit more. But yes, that's because the key thing about Stroud, I never thought he'd scramble or move in the pocket. And he did against Georgia, against the best defense he's probably seen in college. And it was awesome. I was like, wow, this kid is like legit. And obviously he has like Marvin Harrison's crazy, but like a lot of that was Stroud moving around, using his feet. And I just wrote down these examples of that I will remind myself on draft night if we were to take CJ Stroud. Aaron Rodgers was Favre's backup for 3 seasons. He was drafted when they had Favre. 3 years he sat and he just waited. Patrick Mahomes, as we all know, was drafted when Alex Smith was at the helm. And at the time, Alex Smith was a solid quarterback in the league, and they kind of did whatever they wanted to do with him to get Mahomes ready to go because they saw what they had. Jalen Hurts was drafted when Carson Wentz was still a hot thing in the NFL. Carson Wentz was not chopped liver at that time. They took Jalen Hurts to prepare for the future.
Took him
And then-
later, though. He wasn't a first-round pick, was he?
He was a second-round pick. Second round. And then lastly, this is more us. The Lions passed on Justin Herbert under the impression we had Matthew Stafford at the helm. So I think, one, I hope this organization is not drafting this high for the next decade. I hope this is the highest draft pick we have for the next decade.
This is a great point that Evan's going to have to agree with.
And I think if Stroud is there, you really have to look at
if quarterback.
if they think he is the guy, I think you seriously have to consider taking him, and then you hope he's mature enough to sit 2 to 3 seasons if need be, or you just prepare for whatever happens.
It's a great point.
That's why I wouldn't freak out.
I would not freak out either. But yes, this is a great point. You might not be in the top 10 for quite a while if you're actually going to be good. So seems like if that opportunity presents itself, might be your last chance for a few years. So interesting. Now, Grant, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you're starting a franchise,
Okay.
name
These
Your
are always
top-
classic questions.
7 to 8 quarterbacks you would start your franchise with in order.
In order?
Yes.
Yes. The top 4 doesn't really matter, but after that, it matters.
Okay, I would go Mahomes 1.
Thank you.
I don't know ages that well, though. So if anyone's super old, please correct me. And you're like, I don't know. I'd go Burrow 2. I'd go Allen 3. I'm starting a franchise.
Starting a franchise, that's important. There should be a clear 4th. You might not be in that same boat.
Jalen Hurts?
Okay.
No, but that counts.
Am I missing one? Clearly?
No, you're helping that. You saying Hurts 4th is helping my situation so much.
Sort of.
I love it.
Could end up hurting you.
No, it couldn't.
Can move
because I'll just name the player that he's missing in our top 4, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, and he's just gonna put that person in front.
Justin Herbert? Or Grant, not a Herbert guy. Not a Herbert guy.
I mean, he's really good.
Well, where does Herbert rank? Keep going. Please, keep going. Hurts 4.
I need to pull up a list because now I'm in the lost. Sorry, dead air, bad radio. Yeah. Okay, so Herbert's in the mix.
There's about 4 guys probably still in the mix here. For
Herbert's in the mix. T-Law's in the mix. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know after that. This sucks.
Yes.
Who's really young?
Do you want me to start naming quarterbacks for you?
Do I put Lamar top 71 MVP?
Here we go.
Why you guys giggling like schoolgirls?
5 through 7. I need it. Out loud. This is very split debate right now.
Lawrence. I hate that I said that. Herbert, Jackson. Am I missing anyone obvious? Because I'll turn it around fast.
The question Evan and I have been going over is Hurts and Lamar or Trevor Lawrence. And I put Trevor Lawrence behind Lamar.
I put Trevor Lawrence at
barely.
5 and Hurts at 6, and Lamar Jackson's not even sniffing them.
Yeah, Evan thinks Lamar's like 15th.
Lamar Jackson's extremely overrated, and I would not start a franchise with Lamar Jackson over Trevor Lawrence or Jalen Hurts.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take Trevor Lawrence over Lamar.
But your only argument is that he won an MVP.
He just brings a lot, and I think with Ben Johnson,
He brings a lot with his legs, not accuracy.
If you could guarantee me, the biggest thing is his health. If you could guarantee me he stays healthy, I would take all 7 of those over Jared Goff.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah,
if you could guarantee
that far
health.
out of that, be like 10th probably. Where's Justin Fields go? He was the other hotly debated one. Some people have him in the top 5. Other people have him nowhere near there.
No, he's not Lamar Jackson yet to me. He hasn't done enough. Now, obviously, his situation kind of is poopy right now. But he's I can't just vault him.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
That's interesting.
Trevor Lawrence is now wins one playoff game
in a game in which he threw 4 picks in. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence is weird. I don't really know.
He's a really tough. Got all the talent in the world.
Still more talented than Lamar Jackson.
I don't watch enough Jaguars
Different ways.
football.
And the game that played against the Lions, he was not good. So
no. Last thing I saw for the Lions is a tweet from Summer Sports, SUMER Sports. So they left off the second M in summer. They did a chart how much win probability added over expected each head coach and their staff added during the 2022-23 season. So this was taking in 4th down decisions, 2-point decisions, delay of game avoidance, first half timeout, second half timeouts, and somehow Dan Campbell ended up 3rd on this list. And I don't know what to make of it because I'm looking at the list and Nick Sirianni's 1, which I feel like that makes sense based on what I've seen. Sean McDermott is 2. Kind of makes sense on what I've seen. Dan's 3, okay. But then behind Dan is Brandon Staley and Matt Eberflus. So then I'm not really sure the validity of this list based on eye
It's
test.
based on basically aggressive coaches who go for it on 4th down a million times. And the times that they actually convert it, probably ramps your stats way up.
And we got Cliff Kingsbury as 7th and Kyle Shanahan at 14th. So I just don't know how much stock I'm going to put.
Yeah, I'm going to say it doesn't matter.
It's one thing as Lions fans, when people are like, oh, Dan's an idiot. We'd be like, well, he was 3rd on Summer Sports list of win probability added. It's a PFF situation. It's I don't know really what to make of this, but it was getting tossed around a lot. All right, let's get into some circus talk. Michigan,
the dumpster fire that is
football,
over there.
the circus. We had to start with, because we have not recorded since it was officially announced he is returning, with another year of the saga under our belts. How do you guys feel about another year of not getting the satisfaction of watching the fan base burn with him leaving?
Now,
the fan base is burning still. So let's
we have a lot of reasons why it's burning.
Let's focus on just that he's staying part for now, because there's a lot of layers to this.
He was never offered a job again for the 2nd year in a row. He only interviewed.
He might have been offered one if he waited it out. We don't know that, but yes.
All this drama was talking about when he was coming back. What you said last podcast, that his agent is just as big of an ego, and he was 100% flirting with the NFL just so he can get a bigger contract with Michigan. But now this contract is up in the air because he won't just admit that he lied to the NCAA. And that whole thing seemed to come down burning in flames.
And confirmed, him and Ward have not talked to each other since May.
Yeah, allegedly there was a shouting match that took place. Happened in May.
So technically they never yelled at each other in the Iowa locker room if they haven't talked. Or Ward was in there with Jim and they just didn't say anything to each other.
That's probably what happened. It was awkward.
No, they speak in passing. They talk there's photos of them next to each other during games on the sideline. But in terms of business, they talk through intermediaries is the word I've seen thrown around.
Which is absurd.
They don't have real, they do hey, how you doing? What do you think about the game today? They don't talk about business and stuff one-on-one. They just send it to their guy and then he sends it to their guy.
That's crazy.
What a joke that is going on in that athletic department right now.
I think you guys have to So this is a weird year. I just don't know. I just don't know if he's gonna run this back next year.
He cannot do this again. There's no shot.
I think what you guys have to hope for, Evan, you're because you just want to see everything burn.
See it go again.
What would be the funniest outcome of this for rival fans is if he never goes to the NFL, but he leaves Michigan for another college head coaching job. So I think that's what you should pivot your focus to.
That would be
I
insane.
just want him to leave for Clemson
Like
or something.
Stanford. He goes back to Stanford and leaves Michigan. People would cry
He goes
and
on
be
to Texas
insulted.
in a couple years.
I don't see how this happens again. I just don't. I probably said that last year. I just don't know how you can keep doing this dance every offseason.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say about him staying is I'm glad it was resolved earlier this year than last year, because now you can try to salvage some January signing day recruiting. I don't know what will happen, but it's more for the 2024 class, because
Until you fired a different coach.
yeah.
Defensive
Which actually,
recruiting, yeah. You can get some
in a weird
continuity.
way, we'll get to Weiss, but that actually might help offensive recruiting because he didn't really recruit. at
Yeah, I
all
heard
while he
Michigan
was
people
there.
wanted him fired for his coaching anyways, so.
The next point was that in the tweets from the president and Jim, the wording that we discussed makes it very clear there's beef with AD Ward Manuel. There's a lack of communication with Ward Manuel. So publicly dragged or thrown under the bus in those statements that I guess, I don't know how high-level college athletics works. I guess, when you're making that much money, you can just suck it up and move on. But it feels very weird the way it went down, and I don't know if they just go back to normal or what happens there. I have no idea. I have no clue. I can tell you this: if Mark Schlissel was the president of Michigan, Harbaugh's out the door. But he got fired because he was in love with a student.
Sending love emails.
Signed M. So that actually scandal ended up saving Jim Harbaugh's job at Michigan.
So what a joke, really, that's going on in this department. But he got to figure it out. You need
the
a
next
new AD.
The next layer we have.
Hayden Hurst touchdown. Wow. Bengals coming to play.
Off the record.
Wyatt cries on his birthday for Josh Allen losing.
We got to talk about the NCAA allegations that came down. I have a question for you guys. Because although, yes, in a way it's childish to be I didn't lie, prove it. But at the same time, I think in my mind, it's fair to have your coaches back with what we know about the NCAA and how we all detest the NCAA. If you were to put yourself in your shoes, guys, if this was Mel Tucker, would you think you'd have his back and be no, screw the NCAA, don't give them anything, do not cooperate?
I would tell him to just be honest.
I don't think he would. I really don't.
I don't care about the
We
allegations.
wouldn't tell him to be honest. We'd be a ride or die. We'd be whatever Mel Tucker says. We'd
It would
on
be
the throne that he didn't do
FNCAA.
anything wrong. Would also be on the throne that he only paid for a $5 burger. What is wrong with this? Unless there's more stuff to it that we don't know about it. But if it was really just because he paid for
It was the Zoom meetings or whatever, watching kids practice, something dumb. It was all super dumb.
It was too many assistant coaches on the field.
You said that Jim Harbaugh needed to be in prison. So I thought you were the one that was actually thinking that they were terrible violations. I was defending it. I thought
because when it came out, he was at first I was I said from the jump, I was the NCAA is viewed as a joke. They fired their president. I don't think they have any real say in college sports right now. I think they're a spineless organization. And I was who's to say even if they suspend him 2 games, what? I would just show up and coach. What are they going to do? Send the FBI after you and drag you off the field? Who polices the NCAA? They're a spineless organization that no one takes seriously. That's why I don't blame. That's why I don't blame Jim. If they came to my door and was tell us you lied, I'd be no, prove it, dude. And go back, we'll just drag this out. What happened with Kansas, where they didn't get in trouble really at all. And it took 5 years to legislate. So it is funny for jokes and it's a little immature. He's just no, prove it. But at the same time, I think if other fan bases, it was your coach, you'd be no, ride or die, screw the NCAA.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's always screw the NCAA, no matter what. Until they figure it out.
And then with Matt Weiss, officially fired for computer access crimes. It was a really weird night because it dropped
Tell us
late.
what it really was.
No one knew this was coming, from what I understand. It was not on the blog boys, not on the boards. This was out of the blue. I think what we kind of know from public records, it had to do with an email account. He was accessing emails or something with emails that he was not supposed to. We still do not know what the intent behind it was over the 3-day period that it took place. But this is pretty clear to me. So not really an adult in the room. I don't know what he could have been doing, but like it's just kind of a free for all over there. I don't really know what's going on. This was a little like, what are we doing? It kind of gives you like a bad feeling in your stomach of like, is this related to the NCAA violations? Is he going to add to the NCAA violations? I don't really know what to make of this. For actual impact of like who you have to bring in now, there are some hot names out there, but if I were Michigan, I probably would just promote Sharon Moore to OC because I don't like co-OCs. I never have. I want one guy calling plays and then hire a QB coach to coach QBs. So I don't.
Doesn't Jim coach the QBs?
No, Weiss was the QB coach for Cade and JJ. I mean, I'm sure Jim helps. Like that was his position, but Matt Weiss was the official QBs coach in 2021 and 2022.
Oh.
He did not recruit
that,
well. He wasn't a good recruiter, so I don't think they're
sticking
losing
with
there.
the co-OC. That's
So
they're gonna bring in a co-OC QBs coach, same title. That's what I heard.
I guess it depends on what the name is. I could see them promoting Mike Hart to co-OC because he's been there, and then just bringing the QB coach separate if they want to keep
Joe Brady
the
is a name that's been thrown around.
Joe Brady's a quarterbacks coach for the Buffalo Bills right now.
Just saying, co-OC at Michigan.
I think part of me wonders like I think the co-OC is a loophole for Jim to pay more people. Like I think he wants to give people more money, and if you're a co-OC, I just get confused. Like last year it was annoying when Joel Klatt would interview them and they wouldn't tell him who calls plays. I just need to know who's calling plays so I know who to get mad at in the game.
Yes.
And then like when we get delay games, I don't want to be like, oh, it's because no one knew what the play was. Like I wanted to know who's running it, and then I don't care if you both have 2 OC titles. I just need to know who's calling the play.
Incomplete pass.
I don't know how I feel. The obvious name throwing around is Greg Roman, Baltimore transplant, worked with Jim at Stanford, a little older, but like I don't know. I mean, he did have one MVP season with Lamar Jackson, but the Baltimore pipeline is pretty hot between the two programs. I would not be stunned if that was in the mix, but you risk alienating Sharon Moore at that point because Greg Roman is not going to take a back seat to anybody at the college level.
Done calling NFL. There's no way he stoops to that level. He won't.
I do not want to jeopardize Sharon Moore in the program. He's going to become a head coach probably after next year anyways, but I do not want to make that man mad this year because his O-line work has been top tier in the country. So do not step on his toes.
By far.
Yeah, I think so. Despite the Joe Moore winners getting bullied in back-to-back playoff games, they're the big reason why we even got to that point.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I had about Michigan football. Did you guys have anything else?
No.
Any good jokes you thought of or anything to...
No.
I mean, there was a lot of...
Not safe for the podcast.
A lot of good jokes about like stealing TCU's plays and then still getting embarrassed. Those made me laugh. Or like the Philly special. There's a lot of just quality jokes in there about that.
It sounds like he just logged into someone else's email and went through someone's emails. That's like what computer access
there was some
are.
There's got to be more to that,
he was
though.
changing football players' grades.
I did see that.
That is like a fireball. Like if you were just...
I wonder if the FBI is involved. It has to be worse.
It wasn't the FBI. It was campus police.
Oh, well.
The whole raid thing is because they showed up in...
power.
It wasn't like a federal case at all. It's just campus police because he violated the code of conduct in the university.
Yeah, he's looking.
So it could be student grades.
I want to know if he was like scapegoat, like if he was ordered to do this by Jim Harbaugh or he went rogue and then they just made him fall on the sword for Jim. Like I need to know more details.
You know how sweaty that would be if he had to go under oath and he said, "Yeah, Jim Harbaugh made me do this."
Because he is
the NCAA allegations.
He said he's going to clear his name several times.
Yeah, he seems pretty confident about.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he released 2 statements. One when it happened and one when he got fired. Like, I'm going to get back to coaching the game I love, which makes me think I don't know like what he did and if it was like covering for Harbaugh.
Jim was just...
Welcome to Central Michigan.
Because Matt Weiss is his right-hand man. He like was going to go to the... He helped him prepare for the Vikings interview last year. He was going to go to the NFL with him of like the few people on the staff that was going to go. He came from Baltimore, I think. Like, he was his right-hand guy. So it just makes me wonder what's...
So, if you're a right-hand man, I don't think you'll throw him under the bus, but hey.
We need to know what happened. I need closure on it.
Someday we will.
College hoops. You guys know I'm retired for the year. Mm-hmm. Unless they win the next 2 games. Jet Howard's injured, so I guess that's another reason that
They won
things
today.
might be
You
bad.
have to play Purdue on Thursday.
Got to win 2 more games.
Well, you play Purdue. So it's not happening.
Well, last year, beat Purdue by like 30 at home.
Could happen.
Do I expect that this year? No. And before we get to MSU, what I realized about myself and the reason we got to this point is I cannot watch teams who don't play sound defense. I can't do it. That will drive me crazy than any other thing on a basketball court. Yes, when your team goes like 2 of 20 from the 3-point range, it's infuriating. But if you can't play defense and can't stop layups, that's when I tune you out and I declare I'm done. I'm just going to box score watch until you show improvement. I can't watch it. I don't know if that's because we grew up with the Pistons that were great at defense, and that's what I assume basketball's supposed to be like. But like with your guys' team, they at least played defense.
Not today.
Not today, they didn't.
They gave up 1 million layups today.
To
Second
start the
half,
game,
defense.
they played defense.
Yeah.
They quit at the end, but whatever. Yes.
So I guess
They
we'll
do
go into
normal.
that. I'll give the vibe check of my team. Butler, they're dead. Butler's dead. Michigan, I don't think they're making the tournament. I would be surprised at this point if Michigan finds a way to backdoor in the tournament. It would truly surprise me.
I would say so. They already
I
made
would be
losses.
shocked that they would be.
They have no
Pretty
zero
shocked.
quad 1 wins.
What are you, 11-9?
Yeah. Despite the correlation to last year, like they had a very similar record at this point last year with no good wins other than San Diego State. I don't see them winning the big games down the stretch they need to win based on their defensive play.
quad 1 wins. 0.
Yeah.
They have to win
But it would be so weird to see a team finish like top 5-ish in the Big Ten.
Well, everyone in the Big Ten is like within a game still because they all just beat each other. Yeah, they could easily finish top 4 in the Big Ten and miss
And
the
not
tournament.
make the tournament. That would be surprising.
That would be like record setting.
Yeah.
You have a double bye for the Big Ten tournament and you're not making the actual.
Like the
Could you
first time,
imagine?
like, if you, what's the stat? Like if you have double digit win, if you're over 500,
500 and above in the Big Ten, I think has
Always
made the tournament every single time.
Yeah.
So that's the number.
Yeah. But projecting, I think they're going to struggle. Because
They've had the easiest schedule so far in the Big Ten as well.
Yeah.
Michigan's the hardest, Evan. Silver lining.
Wow. So vibe check for your guys' team. Where do we feel from contending for the Big Ten title to postseason play?
We're not contending for the Big Ten title anymore. It's out of grasp.
It's not out of
Damn.
grasp.
It's over.
That's just an absurd thing to say.
January 22nd, Evan's birthday is over.
You're 3 games behind Purdue, and they hold a tiebreaker over you right now. That means
And you have to go to
into
Purdue.
West
Go to
Lafayette
Mackey and
beat
win.
them.
And then if they beat Iowa on
When was
Thursday,
when was the last time we won in Mackey?
I don't know if it's ever happened. But if they beat Iowa on Thursday and then they win at Purdue on Sunday, I'm sure we're going to sit here on the next podcast and be like, well, they are still in this. And they easily can. The Big Ten is a wild season. It's 20 games. It's a long season. My vibe check is we're in a brutal stretch. You had to play like 3-4 of the top, maybe 5 of the top teams in the Big Ten in the last 5 games. They've had no slouches whatsoever.
The scary part overall, though, is the Big Ten is a bad conference this year. So it's like it is a gauntlet in and out. But when you step back and look at like the big picture of college basketball this year,
Well, I think in general, college basketball this year, there's like no really good teams. Houston's
losing at home to Temple right now
okay.
Kansas just lost.
by 20 at home.
They lost back-to-back. They lost 2 games in a row. I mean, like, every team that's good is not that great. Like, we're looking at teams that are 13-7 ranked in the top 25. Bama's good. They have one of the best players in the country on their team.
Yeah, I was diving into Pistons draft prep. I watched a couple highlight
That
tapes
kid
over the
is
weekend.
incredible.
He's a whack
watched him
shooting like
score everything.
47% from
He
3.
dropped $1 million on us and when we played them.
Alex, there's no teams with 7 losses that are ranked in the top 25. That's just
Rutgers.
false. No,
Rutgers 6.
they're 13 and 5. 5 is the highest that you can have right now to be ranked.
They have 6. We beat them on Thursday.
I'm looking at ESPN right now. It says they're 13 and 5.
That's a fraud company. Whatever. The point is 13 and 5 in ranked. That's not something that's that normal.
13 and 6.
They're 6. You
so
lied.
ESPN lies?
Yes, they have 6 losses in there in the top 25.
Well, they won't be after this week.
Probably not. But my whole point is we're going through a brutal stretch.
ESPN lies.
We had 2 games that we should have won that we didn't. Just didn't close them out. I don't think that.
Oh my
Big
God,
Ten's out of
Chris Murray's
reach.
going to carve our buttholes on Thursday.
It's at home.
And Peyton Sanford
Michigan should have beat Iowa.
at Iowa.
So,
They
is
did.
Iowa that scary? This
And you
year?
guys have a bad stretch coming up too, honestly.
Yeah, but then at the end of the season, we
Thank
have an
God.
actual
You guys
reasonable
should be
stretch.
thanking God that you have Rutgers at the Mecca
Madison
and
Square
not
Garden. That is a
at the
blessing.
rack.
That is a blessing.
Now they will travel, and they were as someone who sat basically
we still
courtside.
probably lose.
Someone who sat basically courtside for Michigan, and it was the Brandon Johns game, dropped like 15 points in our face. Rutgers traveled to that game very well. They bring their whole student section.
The only thing is, it's hard to beat a team twice in the span of like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not great. The Big Ten schedulers should be reevaluated. The way they made our schedule is
Okay,
absurd.
Kevin Willard. Okay, Kevin Willard.
They made our schedule ridiculous with the MLK game, and then we played 2 days before that, then we played 2 days again after that, and then we played again today. We played
You're
like
simply
4
just
games in 10
You're
days.
simply just talking about that's January in any conference.
Every
just how
team
the
gets
month-
that stretch. It's just our stretch happens to be against the top 5 teams in the Big Ten.
And then you get your break when it's Purdue to Rutgers. You get days off there, and then you get to regroup, and then you go on another like
And then we get to play the
a
number
game
one,
every
number
3
two
days.
team in the Big Ten again. And then finally, we don't have to play someone in the top 5 of the Big Ten.
But the
Do we
Big
even
Ten as a
get to-
whole. But I understand it's like top 5 in the Big
We
Ten.
only get to
But
play
outside
Minnesota once.
of Purdue, there's no difference between any teams in the Big Ten. Like anyone
My
can beat
point
anyone.
is, though, Michigan has gotten to play Minnesota twice already, and we're about to play Purdue and Rutgers twice already. I mean,
That's
that
'cause
is
we
just
need it.
completely different
We need a
and
warm
not
up.
fair.
Play Purdue on Thursday, Alex. Relax. then go
Minnesota
at-
twice already.
At Penn State. At
Penn State twice already.
Penn State's good.
We beat them.
Doesn't mean they're not. That doesn't mean they're bad.
Played
We're off
Wisconsin
the
already.
rails.
We played
you
Illinois
guys-
already. You haven't even played anyone.
This is my take for Michigan State. You tell me if I'm way off. I think you got to be feeling good about having strong guard play for the month of March. I think the potential nightmare matchup is if you get a team that has very lengthy guard and wing players. Because when you run that little guard lineup of Hogard, Walker, and Akins, I could see how like a lanky defensive team is just gonna probably
Like a
feast on that.
Baylor of the past.
Yeah, or like obviously if you play Houston, the number 1 team in the country, you wouldn't be favored to win. But like it feels like there's a ceiling against like that caliber of team. I don't know if I'm way off on
I think
that.
Michigan State,
Right
with
now,
their
it's
guard
the post
play,
players that are been wrecking her.
Yeah.
with our guard play, I think they can in March beat anyone. I'm not saying they would beat anyone. I think they could beat almost anyone. Easily could have like, but if they don't have a third guy that plays well, like it's like an auto loss. We just can't win with 2 guys, and that's what we have to try to do every single game.
So
If
there's still
Joey disappears, but he has been playing well.
there's still a percent chance in your gut that this team can cut down the Nets as the best team in the entire country in April.
No, I mean I don't think they're going to win the national
I
championship.
just
They
didn't know.
can't. They have 2 freshman centers and Matty Sissoko, who, sorry Grant, not that guy that we all thought
Hey,
he
don't
was.
need to apologize. Play speaks for itself.
He is just not that guy.
He was though for
Next year will be exciting. Can't wait.
You're already on to next year, Alex. Come on.
No, I'm not. I think we're still.
Give Malik Hall my legs. So
No, Malik Hall also is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, because he'd help against teams like that I'm thinking of. That
He's the guy that we need for those situations.
because the minutes and the depth and rotations are just completely different if we have him.
I'd like to think we would have won at least one of those 3 losses recently if Malik was playing.
Did he play against
Iowa-
Northwestern?
No.
Iowa a must win because you have Purdue after that.
Yes.
I don't like to throw must wins around.
We're not winning the Big Ten anyway, so there are no more must wins. It doesn't really matter.
We're
We
not
just
going to
have
miss
add-
the tournament, so
Yeah, we could. If we lose out, we're
Ah!
losing and missing the tournament.
if we lose out, yes, sure. Are we going to lose out? No.
Let's just compare this real quick. As we sit here today, it's 13-7, 5-4 in Big Ten play. I can't believe that this turned into this.
You have at least one more win because you played
When you
Minnesota.
played to UCLA, COVID year,
We got
15 and
hosed
12,
in that for
Fif-
one.
15 and 12, 9 and 11 in Big Ten play. So you'd have to really fall off a cliff here. You could still make the tournament.
We would have to be horrendous for the next 2 months.
9-11 in Big Ten play. Snuck in the back door.
Actually, how did
we
we
beat
the tournament? We
we
won
beat
4
Purdue,
games in a row.
beat Purdue,
Ohio
beat
State,
Illinois.
Michigan.
Well,
Michigan,
I mean, that's
and Ohio
only
State.
you'd have to lose 7 games.
7 more games out of 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's pretty hard to do because like the end of the schedule gets pretty nice.
Actual easy games, easier games.
You get OSU twice, Minnesota.
We don't play
Nebraska.
Purdue and Rutgers every game for the next. Which feels like we play Purdue and Rutgers the next 8 games.
Also, too, I'll get out in front of this take. I think Izzo gets his first road win against Juwan Howard this year. I feel like usually the other team could figure it out
like
for
a
the
game you have to
rematch.
win this time.
That's a must-win game.
Feels like, especially if Jet's still out by then, I feel like that's a win where Michigan State takes it.
It's only a couple weeks away.
I think Michigan State, once they get past that next Purdue game, then they will settle in a bit. The Malik Hall could be back by that time too.
I think you guys might rip off 5 in a row between Maryland, OSU, Minnesota, Michigan, and IU, and then you lose at Iowa.
That feels
and
right.
Then you win your last 2.
That feels good.
I'll take it, Grant.
Yeah.
A 5-game winning streak would feel
7-1 in the last 8 games. I'll take that.
Now this next 3 makes it crucial though, because you got Iowa, Purdue, Rutgers, like that. Because if you rattle off 5 wins in a row, you're back in the Big Ten title race.
If you win the next 3 games, and I'm throwing a party.
Yeah,
because realistically, you're probably winning 1 of those 3.
That's where I would put it right now.
Probably go 1-2 in your next 3. So then we're in that Izzo Bermuda Triangle stretch, and then we move on. Then we get hot at the end of the year.
NFL will close with NFL as we're watching Bengals Bills. I don't know how you guys have felt about the NFL playoffs so far, but they've made me feel better about the Lions going into next year.
Yeah, I've been questioning some of these teams that made the playoffs, and I'm thinking the Lions are way better than them. It's Lions' fault, though. 1-6.
I want to see the Lions' defense against some of these teams' offenses. I know
AFC
offense
teams.
can compare,
Yes.
but like
Wow,
playoffs is
AFC
different,
would be
and like
screwed.
teams like obviously they focus and they prepare like do or die no matter what. Obviously, like that. I just want to see our defense compete at like a do or die game.
Would the defense showed up against like Minnesota at home, or that was like okay, serviceable, good enough, made plays when it mattered, or would the Carolina defense show up in the playoffs?
Yeah, like the Packers or Minnesota or the Carolina. Yeah, like which one's going to show up? Like is the other team's offense going to be in their bag with whatever play call they run? It works, or are we going to actually like get pressure on the quarterback?
Are we going to just go all out blitz and give up the entire middle of the field to the 49ers like 7 times? I feel like that's what would happen.
Well,
49ers is the worst matchup. Eagles now, after watching or box score watching yesterday's game, we would probably.
This is after Alex saying the Eagles aren't that good.
Yeah, I was wrong.
You fell into that trap.
I did.
Yesterday
I
afternoon,
would've
he said
just-
the Eagles aren't that good.
God.
I fell into the Brian Dable trap. I really believe in him.
The fact that the Lions beat 2 teams, the Jaguars and the Giants, that won playoff games, and they both beat them by double digits, makes me feel good about us going into next year and being competitive. I do think after watching some of these games, and it goes to Evan's theory about Goff, I think, like obviously if we sneak in as a wild card, it feels good to make the playoffs, but I think we really could use the home field advantage, not just for the loud factor, but I think like playing indoors against a team is big. Like I feel worse about us going on the road next year in a playoff game.
And I would say depends on where it's at on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I learned that the Lions were good enough to win a playoff game, a wild card weekend game, and then that was probably it. So do we really need to make the playoffs this year? Would have been cool, sure, but we
Then I
weren't
guess
getting
we
out of
just
the
have
divisional
to-
weekend.
We just have to reassess next year to see. I'm thankful we're in the NFC. It feels good to be an NFC team.
Yes.
It does feel like we're still missing a few things.
Oh yeah.
To be really viewed. Like people are already like ESPN viewing us as Super Bowl contenders next year is a little crazy. We still have a pretty cheeks defense.
For now.
It could be a big offseason.
This is going off the point like you talked about next year. There's some Lions fans like when we were 1-6, we all said defense with the first 2 picks.
And now people are like, let's take Michael Mayer at 6. Oh, what? Then we're just doing the Hawkinson thing again.
You're still taking defense as the first 2 picks. I don't care who you are. I don't care. Don't care.
We don't need offensive help.
Don't care. It's just what I'm saying. You're in a win now mode. You want to make the playoffs? Oh my gosh.
Beasley still in the league.
That isn't Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's number 11.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But it's like I want defense with the first 2 picks, and then after that, then you can assess. Like Brad Holmes has found gems later in rounds. I mean, Amon was a 4th round pick. He's found some defensive stubs later in the round, so you can be like, oh, he can find them anywhere.
Let's just find him in the first round because that means they're super talented as well.
But I do think I wouldn't be surprised if like the way he does his board, if there's a guy that he just has in a different tier, like he takes that guy, like what he did with JMO last year. Like if he thinks there's a guy, he's gonna go get his guy no matter what side of the ball they play on.
I just hope it's not a quarterback. I can talk myself into any other position besides or a tight end. I'm done with the experience with a tight end in the first round. It's over.
All right, now my last question for
unless you tell me he turns into
though.
Unless you not at number 6.
At 18, Michael Mayer is Gronk.
Okay, 18, I can talk myself into
He'd be pretty good. Yeah.
Who do I take with my 6th pick then?
Defense. Let's say Jalen Carter falls all the way to 6.
No, you just take the best, like... Well, the problem is you're not going to take a linebacker
the
that
Texas
high, I don't
Tech
think.
Edge rusher that nobody knows who he is.
You probably just take
a
him
very good linebacker
or the Clemson guy or something. You probably just take them.
Brian Brees or Miles Murphy.
I saw someone write an article today. I think it was Jeff Risdon covers the team. He said, like, made a point about how the Lions can't take an edge rusher at 6, and I could not disagree more with that statement.
Yeah,
I think
definitely do that.
If like I know he's like 4 of our picks recently, or like guys are all young, like Pascal, Houston, Hutch, and then you have Kaminsky in. I'm like, yeah, but you can't bank on those guys doing what they did this year every single year.
Pascal's not an edge; he's a 3 tech.
Yeah,
but I think how we've used him has been more out wide. But like obviously, if we could get a sick defensive tackle next to go to Aleem, that'd be sweet. But like,
Bugs, still got Bugs.
Yeah, we got signed Bugs.
Sounds like he tweeted, "I would like to be signed at Lions." So
I would also like to be signed by the Lions. Does that mean I'm back?
All right, my final question for you, Grant, NFL related.
Okay.
Of all the NFC playoff teams. What quarterbacks would you take over Jared?
In the NFC that are left?
NFC playoffs in the whole NFC playoffs.
How to take Hurts? It's probably it.
So if Jared Goff would have made the playoffs, he'd be the second best NFC quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, he would have been. Brock Purdy's a weird case. Can't get my head.
Not in on Brock yet. Not there yet.
If he beats the Eagles, then you have to take Brock over Jared. You just have to.
Are we firmly in the camp though that Jared is now better than Dak?
Monday Night Football.
I mean, I think so. You know who's going to get blown? Maybe not blown out, but Niners are going to manhandle the Cowboys. Cowboys was the same thing. What happened with the Giants is they beat the Bucks. The Bucks
I'm
are
drinking
less than
this Kool-Aid bad.
What, the Cowboys?
The Cowboys defense is the only thing that makes me think they could compete.
Oh my God.
Sorry, NFL expert Grant.
This might backfire in a couple hours, but Niners.
Big. I just don't believe in Brock Purdy.
I'm cheering for the 49ers.
Dude,
I'm cheering for the Niners.
I want Christian
Brock is legitimately good. Brock is good.
He makes some questionable decisions still.
Alex says he's a system quarterback, and you put him anywhere else, he's in a beautiful
Alex
situation. Says you can put any quarterback and they'll succeed with the 49ers.
You can say the same thing about Jared Goff. That's our quarterback. You put Brock Purdy with Ben Johnson, he does just as good.
You put Jared Goff on the Niners, and
you put Chad Henne in any read system, he went 99 yards. Yeah, sure, but that's part of the game.
Yeah, I just don't know if you like...
No, he makes plays out of the pocket.
It's going to be a weird offseason for the 49ers because if they win the Super Bowl, he has to be the starter.
Brock Purdy is better than every Jets quarterback, every
Brock
Panthers
Purdy's
quarterback, every
I think Brock Purdy's already the starter.
No matter what, they lose today, Brock Purdy starts.
If they lose today, he's probably not. But
if they lose today, there's a quarterback competition. There's the whole notion: what do we do with Jimmy G? What do we do with?
You guys don't want Trey Lance, right?
No,
just want to make sure you don't.
What draft pick am I giving up for him?
18.
Oh God, no.
Just 18.
His value isn't worth a first-round pick anymore. He has
I'd rather
one leg.
draft Stroud.
Both seconds.
No, he is worth a pick, a single pick.
Second round pick. Do you trade that for Trey Lance?
No, I would trade.
No.
I would trade like a fourth for him.
Right.
My Mahomes level of respect was already high. It went up more after his performance yesterday. That was sick.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that continues to hate on him, I just don't get it.
Like that ankle
gritty.
injury looked.
Nobody,
That injury was
I don't think
gruesome.
anybody's hating on him. I think everybody just hates on
Everything
The
else.
announcers.
reputation. And
This
the
is
announcers.
Like,
just
it's not
down
his
the
fault.
throat.
Chris Collinsworth is like
This is the Steph Curry
wants
effect.
to marry him. Like,
It is.
Steph Curry effect.
but people love Steph.
No, a lot of people
Yes.
hate Steph.
Really?
I
No,
love stuff.
I love Steph.
a lot of
Curry
people
personally.
a lot of people don't like Steph and the Warriors because of all the love they got.
Well, like,
Same with
it's-
LeBron.
You should be happy you get to watch such greatness on television.
Yeah, the first drives was awesome. I was like, this is like arcade football. This is sick.
Yeah, they're incredible.
And then I was just impressed that he came back and like limped around and won the game.
Now I'm nervous that he's not going to play. Or he's going to play next week, but he's definitely not even remotely going to be close to 100%.
Yeah,
Like
no
50.
chance. If it's actually a high ankle sprain, that's like a
So then he's going to
injury.
lose to Joe again, and I'm going to have to hear about it for another year. So
That will be tough if Joe goes into Arrowhead again.
it's going to happen, dude.
Now let's get crazy. Joe Burrow beats the Bills today, goes into Arrowhead, wins the Super Bowl. Best quarterback in the NFL?
Yes.
Hard to argue.
And
he might
also
not be the
based
most
off his
talented, but he is the best winner.
and based off of college reputation, like that has to factor into our bias. Yeah, he has to be. Like,
It
no,
sucks
like
'cause
I would start my
love Joe
franchise.
Burrow just as much as I like Mahomes. Just I like Mahomes
People-
first, so now I'm in a
people
terrible
forget.
position.
The Bengals were my backup team last year, so they are now firmly my primary team. Evan, do you have a new primary team?
Oh yeah, your team has been
After
eliminated.
the
49ers.
Herb sexual. All right, I love that. CMC.
Grant, what was your team? So the people know.
It was Vikings, and now it's Bengals.
Did you say the Herb sexuals?
He did. I didn't.
Herb sexuals. That's what they call Herbert fans.
Oh my god.
So who's your team now?
Well, I am a Herb sexual. for him.
Bengals. Like, because remember, Bengals was my team last year.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Alex? You got this
Gotta
weird
do
smirk
this
on your
dance
face.
again next week.
I'll be the 49ers.
Yeah, last year
I'm
in the
not cheering
apartment,
for the
we
NFC
watched it.
East.
Yeah, we
Oh my
did
god, I
that
forgot
awkward
that,
dance.
Alex. I sat there. I was
I
like,
put
oh my god.
Mahomes jersey on, and we did the whole dance.
I forgot we
lost.
watched that. It was 21-3, and I sat there
Beating
just
them down
laughing.
at halftime.
I was like, oh my god, they're gonna lose. And that, because I was just having fun with the gritty, and like Alex is like actually sad because he's kind of invested into Mahomes. I was like, oh, this is actually awkward.
Yeah, I am. I'm
Oh,
probably
yeah,
too
last year-
invested in this.
Because
in
my
Mahomes.
my fake team ran through Evan's kind of real team in the Titans and Alex's team in the Chiefs
Yes.
last year. Bengals are a wagon.
They are. Joe Burrow is a wagon.
And they're driving right now, up 7.
Wow.
6
We'll
minutes
see how
left.
this game ends up, but I'm excited.
Part of
this
me
is
needs the Bills to win, so I don't have to watch.
Well,
I have to awkwardly
It's not going well.
watch Joe Burrow and Mahomes go at it.
I mean, alive
I'm
right
glad. I am glad that we get the heavyweight matches. I'm
Ooh.
not big on upsets in the NFL playoffs because then they get murdered in the championship games,
Yeah.
like the Jags yesterday.
they lost by
5.
7.
Scored late.
5 Chiefs AFC championships in a row, Alex. That has to feel good for the Chiefs fans.
Yeah, they're a wagon. Talk about a wagon. They are a wagon.
I was thinking too, it's
They
so
just
crazy
win.
now that they got rid of
They got rid of Tyreek
Like-
Hill.
No. This is a
Tyrann
different
Mathieu.
take of like, you know how the Patriots were just so dominant all those years and always made the AFC championship? Like their fans would joke their season doesn't even start till the AFC championship, like, which is
Yeah.
a crazy to even think about. And yes, they were the 1 seed most of those years. But now, if the Chiefs keep going, that's almost more impressive because now only one team gets the bye. Like if you were the 2 seed that got the bye, you still only have to win 1 game to make the championship game. Like that
Yeah.
was so much easier
Fair
back
point,
in the
Graham.
day.
Fair point.
'Cause now if you're a 2 seed, you still got to win 2 games to even get to the championship game.
Yeah.
What was that look, Alex? Did something just happen?
Deep cross over the middle.
just carving the Bills defense. Well, I love Joe Burrow, so it's just it's awkward rooting.
It's hard not to like him.
Why can't you root for? You can root for the Bengals this game. I think.
I know I don't want to face Joe Burrow next game.
He's scared because Joe Burrow's going to take over the most, and he's better than Patrick
correct. I
Mahomes.
don't want that.
So the Mahomes
I
Bills
don't
thing that
mind
was in
it.
the
Mahomes
Mahomes.
lined up offsides.
That was in the divisional round last year, though.
Yes,
right?
that was
You watched-
divisional Bills Chiefs. Craziest game I've ever watched.
That was when Alex's real like hatred of Tony Romo started.
That's when Dish didn't have CBS, and I had to watch it on Paramount Plus.
That's crazy. That is insane.
Evan, you have some of the weirdest like TV malfunctions that happened to that
never
cable
had anything
package.
work for you.
Dish Network sucks.
You need a switch.
Oh, Jack Morris not on the calls for the Tigers in 2020.
I was about to say something.
What?
I can't. Nothing. I can't say it. I'm not going to say
Off
it.
the record, say it.
No.
All right, that's the show. Let's go watch some playoff football.
Eat some wings and Taco Bell and watch
Yeah,
it.
we are
About to
getting
say-
Taco Bell. Yes, we are.
You guys don't. Is it just you two and Drew that are left?
Yeah.
Did everyone stay for the state game or did they leave before?
Yeah, they had to stay for the stadium. And then as soon as Alex and I had to come in here and do the podcast, they all left.
Cheers to episode 106.
Cheers.
Cheers.